Bah!
The GOAT, greatest of all time. There's a lot of people who claim to be the GOAT, like Drake, last name ever, first name greatest. Or recently, Ronaldo said he was the greatest soccer player of all time. Or how about Polo G? The guy literally has an album called The GOAT. Or there's Billy, he literally is a GOAT. But for everyone who claims to be the GOAT, there can only be one GOAT in each category. Whether that be rapper, actor, athlete, astronaut, eater, walker, breather, literally whatever category you could think of. But the one hotspot for the word GOAT in the last decade has of course been in basketball. You always hear that question. Death, taxes, and the GOAT debate in basketball. There are so many different players people put in this conversation. LeBron, Jordan, Justin Holiday, Trey Burke, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The list goes on. And a lot of the time, who you pick for your GOAT depends on who you grew up watching. Old heads, well, a lot of them will call Bill Russell the GOAT. Mid heads, you get a lot of Michael Jordan answers. The youngins always say LeBron or Kobe as their picks. But I wanted to figure it out once and for all. Who really is the GOAT of basketball? For my last video, I did this for current players, and a lot of you seem to really like it, so I decided, why not do this for the GOAT debate too? So here's what I did. I went on the internet. First, I did what I always do. I watched 10 hours of the most iconic vines till my favorite vine of all time came up.
We all die. You either kill yourself or get killed.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Alright, once the 10 hours of vines were up, I decided to finally get started on this video. What I did, I dug deep into the trenches of the internet. My goal, find 50 lists people have made of the greatest players of all time. If you've seen a list of the greatest players of all time relatively recently, Google, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, eBay, Zelle, it was probably taken into consideration for this video. The stipulation though, the list had to be made within the last year. After the Nuggets won the championship actually, I wanted it to be semi-updated. But then what I did when I got off the list, I took them all and averaged the players' placements. I wanted to see, really, as a collective, who do we believe the greatest players of all time are? When I did this for current players, I did the top 20 players in the NBA. For this, it's actually the top 23 players of all time. I did this because my favorite player of all time, Allen Crabbe, wore 23. Alright, not actually. I did this because 23 players have an average ranking that ended up being under 20. So I wanted to include them just to show how close they really were. But right here, here's the list of the 23 greatest players to ever pick up a basketball. And the guy who just made the cut, just barely, 23rd, Nikola Jokic. An average placement of 19.9. You see what I mean? 19.9. I couldn't leave him off the list. Wouldn't be fair. But I'm glad Joker made the list. Very deserving. An NBA champion, 2-time MVP, probably going to be a 3-time MVP in 2 months or so. Jokic definitely needed to be on this list. Apparently, people call Jokic Cookie Monster though. There's just no way. That's a nickname listed on Basketball Reference. No one's out here calling Jokic Cookie Monster. Yo, I don't know how they're going to stop the Nuggets when Jamal Murray and Cookie Monster are out there together. Get the hell out of here. No one's saying that. I'm not kidding though. The other night, this guy threw one of the most absurd passes I've ever seen in my life.
Got 13. His season high.
Are you serious, man? I don't even think he looked at it once. The guy's wearing an earpiece talking to Mike Malone on the sidelines or something, I swear. But Jokic does deserve this. He averages a career 21, 11, and 7. Every night, he continues to climb the all-time ranks even further and make a stronger case for himself to do so.
You got a parade coming up here on Thursday.
Yes.
How soon till you're back in sophomore?
I need to, Sundays I have my horse racing in my
Horse racing? I was going to get to that.
Finishing with an average placement of 0.1 higher than Nikola Jokic, David Robinson, a 19.8 average placement. I mean, come on, the Admiral had to be here. He's a legend. Averages a career 21, 11, and 3 blocks. One of the greatest shot blockers of all time. The guy averaged 3.9 blocks per game in his rookie season. Just stupid. Although I do know someone else who's probably going to do that. Both Spurs, no bad blood there. But David Robinson's accolades are stacked. 2-time MVP, NBA champion, 10-time All-Star, a Defensive Player of the Year. This guy was completely dominant on both sides of the ball. Every time I think of David Robinson though, I think of this. Someone please tell me they know what I'm talking about so I don't feel crazy. I tried to find a picture or video of it, but I just couldn't. Feels like Wilt's 100-point game. But I vividly remember in an old 2K my career, I don't know exactly what year, but there was something when if you scored more than 71 points, you got a text message from David Robinson on the phone in the game. It said something like, "Nice game, youngin. I remember my first time scoring 71, something light. It was something so stupid like that. It was the most backhanded compliment ever. Someone, please tell me you know what I'm saying. But either way, in real life, I feel like David Robinson is just underrated. He's one of the last guys you want to play on a night-to-night basis. He was just going to play physical every night. He was stupidly strong for no reason. That dude literally came from the Navy. If I had to pick an NBA player to be my teammate in a tag team fight, David Robinson's my guy. Actually, wait, no. James Johnson's my guy. That guy's kicking anyone's ass. But D-Rob, you're second. And you're the 22nd greatest player in NBA history. And you have one of the greatest commercial lines in NBA history too.
Who could that be?
It's Charles Barkley with today's word.
Today's word is find.
Tell the boys and girls how you get fined, Charles.
You can get fined for a lot of things, like yelling, arguing, and bad-mouthing an official, but most of all, for fighting.
Have you ever been fined, Charles?
Never, ever. No.
Charles is a great player, but he has a lousy memory.
Never, ever.
Actually, speaking of Chuck, this is a good time to mention it now. Charles Barkley was the first guy to miss the list. He had an average placement of 20.2, but I had to cut the line somewhere. Charles Barkley and D Wade, the first two guys off the list. They both just barely missed each. But we gotta move on. The 21st greatest player of all time, Giannis Antetokounmpo, an average placement of 19.6. I can personally say, I know this isn't my list, and I know you guys don't care what I have to say, but I actually do agree with these. Comparing Jokic to Giannis, I think Jokic is the better player right now, but I would give the edge to Giannis all time. Not edge, I hear you. I give the upper hand to Giannis. Better? It's crazy though. Giannis is one of the most hated players in the NBA right now, which is weird, because it seems like this guy's one of the most likable. Not that I know this guy personally, but how do you hate on someone who celebrates by saying this?
So what's it feel like to finally win this thing?
Winner, chicken dinner.
This guy just wants to celebrate with some Raising Cane's. Actually, I need some Cane's right now if I'm being real. But right now, Giannis averages a career 23, 10, and 5. He's an NBA champion, a two-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year. He's arguably a top 10 defender of the last decade. He leads the Bucks in like every all-time category. He really just changed the trajectory of the Bucks franchise. They used to be a Brandon Jennings franchise. That's not a shot at Brandon Jennings, one of my favorite players of all time. That 55-point game his rookie season, special stuff. But it's a difference when you go from a Brandon Jennings franchise to a Giannis Antetokounmpo's. It brings you a championship ring. Although, Giannis isn't doing this, I can't lie.
Dunleavy, in for Jennings,
Alright, now we're in the top 20. And number 20 ended up being Karl Malone. 20? Malone? That seems a little high for him. An average placement of 18.2. Some would say 18.2 is about 5.2 too high for Malone. I'm not a big fan of this guy if I'm being honest. I don't care how good he is at basketball. 20 and 13 doesn't sit right with me. So quickly, I'll read his career numbers and accolades, then move on. Two-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, third all-time in scoring, a career average of 25 and 10. He's phenomenal at the sport of basketball, but screw that guy. I don't know how the NBA still celebrates him. But 19. This is the Malone we rock with where I'm from. In the trenches of the suburbs where I'm from.
You know what the trenches are?
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Now, I grew up in a suburb. We never.
Yeah, like if your mom picks you up from the gang, it's not really.
Exactly. Right. And then she offers a ride to everybody else. Do you need a ride home, Riley? Oh, your mother's coming? She's a sweetheart. Fucking mom, stop, dude. Mom, stop.
Mom, we call him fucking Gunner.
We rock with Moses Malone for sure. Unless he has some cases I don't know about, then we don't. But as far as I know, Moses is chilling. I'll live and die on this hill. Moses Malone is one of the most underrated players to ever pick up a basketball. 19 is way too low, but this isn't my list, so what am I going to do? But Moses Malone, an NBA champion, a 3-time MVP, a 12-time All-Star, a 6-time rebounding champion, his career averages are 21 points and 12 rebounds, and although his numbers don't blow you away, it was the guy's peak that was so elite. 31 points per game and 15 rebounds. Ready for this though? The most offensive rebounds in NBA history. Moses Malone, 6,731. Second place isn't even close. Also, shout out to Andre Drummond for finding himself on this list. But the other day I saw a tweet, it said, "What's the biggest what if in Philly sports history?" Someone replied, "What if Joel Embiid had the heart of Moses Malone? Judge a lie who smells, judge a lie who smells." Come on, man. First, insane Embiid stray. Second, you need a heart transplant for that, buddy. So nice try. But number 19, I mean, who else is doing this?
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him go!
Number 18, I think this dude is actually the most likable player in NBA history, other than Karl Malone of course, but Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk had an average placement of 17.8. I'm happy Dirk made this list, because as time goes on, Dirk seems like he's becoming a borderline top 20 player of all time, but I'm glad everyone still shows him respect. He's an NBA champion, an MVP, a 14-time All-Star. He averages a career 21 and 7.5. Dirk Nowitzki literally is the Mavericks franchise. This guy is a statue outside the stadium in Dallas where he's shooting a basketball. We'll go with that. But Dirk's 2011 playoff run, that's around the time I started watching basketball, maybe a few years after. Still one of the most legendary playoff runs I've ever seen. My guy took down Kobe, KD, and LeBron in the same playoffs. Someone tweeted this the other day. Quick reminder that Dirk isn't a top 4 power forward of all time. Real quick, bro, I'm crying. Why didn't they use a real picture for Dave DeBuscher? Had to use a 2K headshot. That's crazy. But the tweet, Dirk, not a top 4 power forward, in the replies, bro got hit with the Cam Edwards, people who are desperate for attention.
I was finna do that, and then I came back and
What are you doing? Nothing. This crazy thing happened at work. Everybody blowing my phone up right now, man. Just really long story.
Shout out to Cam Edwards, G League legend. But Dirk is also a legend. Sorry, David Robinson, Dirk might match your commercial levels too.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is, huh? Anybody? Kayla, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Champ. What day is it, champ? Hey, Cash, guess what the day is?
It's game day.
What?
Rob, how happy are Mavs fans to buy a season ticket package?
I'd say happier than Dirk on a game day. Game day? Yeah!
Get happy. Get season tickets. Go to Mavs.com right now.
Now we're at number 17, Dr. J, an average placement of 17.6. I mean, no one has a harder nickname than Dr. J. Imagine everyone just called you Dr. J, and half the time they didn't even know your real name. But for Dr. J, I'm going to combine his NBA stats and ABA stats because the majority of his prime and accolades come from the ABA. So that will make him a 3-time champion, 4-time MVP, 16-time All-Star. His career stats are 24 points, 8.5 rebounds, 4 assists. Plus, this guy was a pioneer of the dunk contest. Dr. J, my guy. If you did that in the dunk contest today, actually, who am I kidding? You'd win. The dunk contest was trash this year. In his prime though, Dr. J was averaging 30 and 12. Imagine we all called him Little Hawk though. Why are everyone's basketball references nicknames so dumb? But for Dr. J, you know how good you gotta be to tweet out a picture versus Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and caption it, "There was no stopping me during this game of the NBA Finals in 1980. Nah, but he isn't wrong. The highlights this guy has, most NBA players' highlights from the 80s is like a dribble. Dr. J's highlights would still be highlights today.
It's 89-84, Sixers, and they get inside. Unbelievable, Julius Erving.
Number 16, the biggest dog of all dogs, Kevin Garnett, an average placement of 17.1. One time I showed KG something he couldn't have, bro was not having it.
How the fuck would you show me something if I couldn't have it?
KG's a legend, he's a champion, an MVP, a 15-time All-Star, a Defensive Player of the Year, a 4-time rebound champion. This guy's accolades just go on and on. We'd be here all day if I went through all of them, but he does have a career average of 18 and 10, which is kind of deceiving because so many veteran years to end his career, but there is no denying what Kevin Garnett did. He's one of the toughest players in NBA history. This is a guy nobody felt like versing, probably ever. But as much as I love KG and as good as he was, he has, and I mean pretty easily, one of my favorite clips in NBA history.
Here we go, kinda like naming NFL equivalent for each NBA player. Let me see.
Now we're looking at the top 15 NBA players of all time. Number 15, Jerry West, an average placement of 17 exactly. I think sometimes we don't think of Jerry West as how good he actually was. A champion, a 14-time All-Star, a scoring champion, an assist champion, probably the best player to never win MVP. Ready for this? Career averages 27 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. The dude was lethal. He was literally the logo of the NBA. The only downside of Jerry West, this guy lost to the same team in the NBA Finals every single year.
A star. So was I! A fucking star!
I can pass behind my back, over my fucking head. I can pass it out my fucking asshole if you want it. Do you know what? You want to know what it got me? Do you want to fucking know what it got me? It got me, sweet fuck on. It got me this, a fucking booby prize. Here it is. Hey, welcome him in. Here he is. Jerry fucking West, MVP, the most valuable fucking loser award.
I'd be the same way, Jerry West. But the top 14. There's something about the top 14. I feel like it's just like the group of 14 guys everyone should have. This isn't the exact order I'd put them in, but it's the exact same 14. But number 14 himself, Oscar Robertson, an average placement of 14.6. Oscar Robertson, for you youngins, this was Russell Westbrook before Russell Westbrook. Career averages of 26, 7.5, and 9.5. He was the only guy to average a triple-double in a season before Russ did it like 78 times. But Oscar's an MVP, a champion, a 12-time All-Star, a 6-time assist leader. I mean, this dude was just lethal at everything on the floor. Phil Jackson has one of the best quotes ever about Oscar. If Oscar played today, he'd probably average 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, but that's only because he's 70 years old. Alright, Phil Jack, I hate to break this to you, 70-year-old Oscar is Tony Snell out there. Zeros across the board. Honestly, Oscar's 85 right now though, he's probably cooking me in a 1v1, I can't even lie. But really, Oscar Robertson is one of the most elite players of all time. But that's back in the 70s. For the 13th best player of all time, we're moving to current day, and that's Kevin Durant. Durant had an average placement of 13.8. Durant's just, I don't even know. Durant is just him. He's a 2-time champion, an MVP, a 4-time scoring champion. The list goes on and on. Plus, it's going to continue to go on and on for a few more years for KD. His career averages right now are 27 points, 7 rebounds. He's almost a 50, 40, 90 guy for his career. I know literally none of those numbers touch 50, 40, 90, but they're all really close, so good enough. But although Durant is 13, if this was a list of NBA players with the best Twitter accounts, he's undoubtedly one. Scarlett Johansson, I will drink your bathwater. #random. That's a classic. To Skip Bayless, I really don't like you. Girl, you look like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. You look good. So although Durant isn't first all time, he's definitely got a better Twitter feed than all those 60s guys got.
I told Steph this. I was about 10 years old, and our AAU team drove down to Charlotte and played, and it was just one, like, I thought he was white, but he was he was yellow kid, right? 'Cause I'm just being real.
Well, speaking of that kid he saw when he walked in the gym, Steph Curry was ranked the 12th best player of all time. He had an average placement at 12.3. I'm gonna keep it real, does 12 seem way too low for Curry? Not top 10 almost seems disrespectful, but whatever. He's a 4-time champion, a 2-time MVP, a 2-time scoring champion, the NBA's all-time 3-point leader. He's pretty easily the greatest shooter of all time, averages a career of 25 and 6.5, and he's also the NBA's all-time free throw percent leader, 91%. This guy changed the NBA whether you like it or not, even though there's some people out there who don't like it.
Fuck Steph Curry, fuck Steph Curry, fuck Steph Curry.
Lil Boom was insane for this song. Saying fuck Steph Curry is fine, I guess, whatever, but this line is crazy. His daughter looked like a mutt and his son ugly as fuck. Come on, Lil Boom. They're like 6, but whatever. Steph Curry has taken the NBA by storm over the last decade. Everyone wants to play like Steph Curry. His ability to pull up from 40 feet is unmatched. And old heads, they don't like Curry, but personally, I don't understand how you don't like watching Steph Curry. This guy runs around like he's Marshawn Lynch finding gaps and then pulls up from deep and then just runs away. Number 11, an average placement of 11.5, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem was unstoppable. He'd probably have like 4 rings if it wasn't for that dude in Chicago. Yeah, I'm talking about Alex Caruso. But either way, he's still a 2-time champion, an MVP, a 12-time All-Star, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time rebound leader, 2-time block leader. One of the best defenders in the history of basketball. A career average of 22 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Plus, he's the NBA's all-time leader in blocks. Hakeem's one of the weirdest players to rank, because if you love defense, then those people are going to rank him at like 5. But then other than that, there's times people have him at like 15. But either way, he's arguably the best defender in the sport's history, and unarguably, he's one of the best players in the sport's history.
Olajuwon, another motherfucker that talk shit to you. Yeah, Olajuwon would do some shit like take his mouthpiece out and say, I'm hitting him with lateral movement. He can't do anything. You like, how do I even respond to that? Like, you hitting him with lateral movement. Like, yeah.
Now we're looking at the top 10. The 10 greatest players in the history of basketball. Number 10, Tim Duncan, an average placement at 8.3. One thing Tim Duncan knew how to do, win basketball games. He's a 5-time champion, a 2-time MVP, a 15-time All-Star, career averages of 19 and 11. He's just insanely good at basketball. Although to casuals he might be boring to watch, you're never going to watch this guy beat your favorite team. Unless you're a Heat fan, but the dude was like 75 at the time, give him a break. But the thing about Duncan, he was just a big talker. He once got ejected for laughing on the bench.
Howard now drives inside right over Robertson, and a blocking foul. As Joey Crawford saying Robertson moving. Peg Popovich doesn't like that one either. And another technical foul. And this was when Duncan's out of the game. He's thrown Duncan out of the game.
Alright, getting ejected for laughing on the bench is crazy, but especially for Duncan. I'm not sure if this guy said a total of 100 words in his life. But before I said that Dirk is the Mavs franchise, Tim Duncan is the Spurs, and the Spurs are one of the greatest franchises ever. I swear though, if I saw Tim Duncan today, I'm not recognizing him. My guy looks like Tarzan. This is the dude that would cook your favorite player on a night-to-night basis, and then after that, he would pat him on the back and say, "Nice try, buddy." But number 9, Bill Russell, an average placement at 8.2. First off, rest in peace to a legend. Second off, I said Tim Duncan couldn't lose. Billy R, 11 championships, 5 MVPs, 12 All-Stars, 4-time rebounding champion. The guy has a career average of, ready? 15 points, 22.5 rebounds per game. That's some 2K paint beast numbers when you're trying to boost for VC. Plus, he's got the most contagious laugh ever. He got a whole YouTube video compilation of his laugh only. Number 8, Kobe Bean Bryant, an average placement of 7.8. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with this, because most of the time when I see Kobe ranked, it's either at like 3 or 12, but he ended up getting placed at 8. How can you not love Kobe? 5 championships, an MVP, 18 All-Stars, 2 scoring championships. Kobe was just the definition of elite. And still, one of the funniest videos in the history of, not even NBA, the history of the internet goes along with Kobe.
Bro, y'all got my nigga Kobe fucked up, bro. Who is that nigga, bro? That's this nigga right here. That is not Kobe.
That was not Kobe. But if you ask a lot of players in the NBA today, a lot of them would say that Kobe is the GOAT. As people who grew up on Bill Russell, they'll put Kobe at like 15. I actually have a really funny Kobe story though. I remember it clearly. It was 2006. I was like 4 or 5. Just some random night in January. I told everyone, I think Kobe's going to score 81 tonight.
The whole game. I seen the whole game. I was at home watching the game, and you know, I said he was going to, before the game even started, when I seen, I said he was probably going to score 70 tonight. I don't know what made me say that, and my friends was with me, and they was like, okay. So
Number 7, an average placement at 7.7, 0.1 ahead of Kobe, Shaquille O'Neal. I think Shaq and Kobe go together in like everything. Arguably the best duo ever, back-to-back on the all-time list. If two good things are together and this pops up, you know what it means. Jalen Carter and Henry Ruggs on the prison F1 racing team, alcohol and operating a motorized vehicle, stuff like that, right? But Shaq is a legend. 4 championships, an MVP, 15 All-Star appearances, 2 scoring championships. He's got a career average of 24 and 11. Plus, I don't care what channel you put on, Shaq is gonna be on that commercial. The General, Icy Hot, Buick, Frosted Flakes, Gold Bond, Papa John's. There's so many more too. Professional bag chaser. I'm trying to get like you, Shaq. But also, he did maybe the coolest thing any player's ever done. He made affordable basketball shoes for kids across America. Someone no one hates. Number 7, Shaquille O'Neal. Oh yeah, and Shaq messing with Aaron Gordon is one of the funniest interviews ever.
You know what I liked about that dunk contest? Him and Zach, they was getting so high. When they was up there dunking, man, they was so high. I was like, damn, these boys are high. Man, these boys are getting high as hell when they ranked D-Wade. Cloud 9 the way they was up there.
Let my guy chill, Shaq. But nah, that interview's funny either way. But moving on, number 6, Wilt Chamberlain. An average placement of 7 exactly. Individually, Will may be the best talent in NBA history. 2 championships, 4 MVPs, 13 All-Stars, 7 scoring titles, 11 rebound titles, and an assist title. I mean, a title in all 3 stats? I guess it makes sense when you average a career 30 points per game and 23 rebounds. And you're the NBA's all-time rebounding leader. Wilt Chamberlain makes no sense. He had a season where he averaged 50.4 points per game, 25.7 rebounds, and 48.5 minutes per game. There's only 48 minutes in a basketball game. He never sat, plus he played overtime. The guy scored 100 points in one game. If you're a numbers guy, then Wilt's your dude. The guy holds every record. Nowadays, when Jokic breaks records, it's always the first player since Wilt Chamberlain. Anytime someone does something good, it's putting up Wilt numbers. There's a Russian basketball league where you could suplex your opponent. I mentioned this last video, but Draymond would put up Wilt numbers. Metro Boomin, the real MVP tonight, Wilt numbers. He really did go crazy on We Don't Trust You. But Wilt is one of, if not the most dominant player we've ever seen. Also, Wilt Chamberlain by G Herbo unironically put up Wilt numbers. Then I walk in the house one day with a Wilt Chamberlain, all hundreds. Herbo, you did not need to go this crazy on this song. But for the real Wilt, there's a good chance we don't see anything like him ever again. I mean, will we ever be able to see a 7-footer that can do this?
For the ground on a vertical.
And I give you.
Would you do the 100 in? Under 10 seconds?
No, the 100-yard dash. 9.969.
Now, the top 5 greatest players to ever play basketball. Number 5, Larry Bird, an average placement at 6.5. Bird didn't have a long career, but holy shit, it was a great one. 3 championships, 3 MVPs, 12 All-Star teams. He averaged a career 24, 10, and 6. And I'm just playing bird passing highlights in the back because this dude could dish the rock like no one I've ever seen. And I'm being dead ass when I say this, he was Jokic before Jokic. But the actor they got for Larry Bird on Winning Time always makes me laugh. Larry Bird, number 5, one of the only guys in NBA history who had the respect of Michael Jordan.
Enjoy yourself, dog. You bitch, fuck you. Y'all gave us the run for our money.
You can't think of Larry Bird and not think of Magic Johnson. They just go together. Batman versus the Joker, Rocky vs. Apollo Creed, Tom vs. Jerry, Larry Bird vs. Magic Johnson. And of course, number 4, Magic Johnson. A 5-time champion, 3-time MVP, 12-time All-Star, 4-time assist champion, 2-time steal champion, career averages of 27 and 11, 11.2 assists per game for his career, just absurd. Actually, I said no one could swing the rock like Bird. I forgot about Magic. So here's his passing highlights too. This guy was just a professional basketball game winner. And Magic Johnson's Twitter, the complete opposite of KD's. This guy tweets like a robot. Giannis Antetokounmpo, aka the Greek Freak, is showing the whole league why he's such a special player, scoring 39 points to lead his Bucks 3-1 over the Celtics. He will be dominating the NBA regular season and playoffs for many years to come. Jamal Murray had 6 straight free throws in the closing seconds and had a game-high 34 points to lead the Nuggets over the Trailblazers. Thanks, Magic. Some really opinionated and controversial tweets. Although sometimes he does think he's Michael Jackson.
So then I came down.
Now we're in the top 3. I think most people have these guys as their top 3, but sometimes the order changes. But usually number 3 is pretty set, and that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had an average placement of 3.3. I mean, he has 6 championships, 6 MVPs, the most ever, 19 All-Star appearances, 2 scoring championships, a rebound championship, and a 4-time block champion. Kareem was a monster. I don't know why this guy doesn't get discussed more when we talk about the GOAT. I mean, 6 MVPs and 6 championships. At the end of the day though, this was literally just a guy who was a full house character.
You're a lucky guy, you know? I've had a little practice.
The top 2. Every single list I looked at had the same 2 top players. Not the same order every time, but the same players. And finishing with an average placement of 1.9, the second greatest player of all time, LeBron James. I mean, you probably could have guessed this. He's a 4-time champion, a 4-time MVP, a 20-time All-Star, a scoring champion, an assist champion, the NBA's all-time leading scorer. He has a career average of 27, 7, and 7.5. There was about a 48-year stretch where this guy was the best player in the NBA. LeBron fans are out of control though. I was on TikTok before and a Young Sheldon clip came up. For the first 40 seconds, it was a normal Young Sheldon video. 41 seconds hits. It's this picture of LeBron for 4 minutes with You're My Sunshine talking about his glorious King LeBron. LeBron fans are another level. LeBron himself though is hilarious too. A 5-minute compilation of lies. You gotta be at another level.
So you been saw this, Bron. I been saw this. You know what they say on Twitter right now? I put him on the QB now, Bron. You know what they saying on Twitter right now? They say you be capping. I just talked about this the other day. I always speak the truth, man. I always speak the truth.
The greatest player of all time. An average placement of 1.1, Michael Jordan. I mean, I think most of us knew this was coming, 6-time champion, 5-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, 10-time scoring champion, 3-time steal champion. Damn, 10-time scoring champion is crazy. But it makes sense. He averages a career 36 and 5. I don't even need to sit here and explain Michael Jordan. You know who he is. Teammate puncher, pizza eater, greatest of all time, Michael Jordan.
I own the rim and concentrate.
Like this. Like that?
No, like this. Like this. Like this. Like this, Michael. And now give it some razzle-dazzle.
That's my mom.
That's your mom, Mike? But yeah, did the internet have this list right or wrong? I think to most people, it comes down to LeBron or Jordan, but I just wanted to show the other greats some love too. If you're still here and not subscribed though, that's genuinely crazy. Anyway, see you soon. New video ASAP.